How do you keep your dream and vision alive when all odds are stacked against you? Well, we'll be talking about that topic and more today on Extraordinary Women TV. Hello, I'm your host, Shannon Skinner, and thanks for dropping by. My next guest is a tea sommelier and founder of teALCHEMY, a new online company that sells unique teas and wares. Joining me in the studio is Lynda Budd. Lynda, it's so nice having you here.
Thank you for the invite.
And you look so beautiful in purple.
Oh,
that's the color of my Extraordinary Women purple. I love it.
Right, nice that, love it.
You know, I know what a wine sommelier does, but what does a tea sommelier do?
Well, it's similar to a wine sommelier,
Right.
but you're dealing with teas, of course. But it's the whole culinary experience of learning the history of the different types of tea, the cultivation methods, the different regions and countries that they come from, and then tasting the many different types of varieties.
Right.
So developing the palate, the vocabulary for explaining the different types of teas as well. Right up to the servicing, how to service, to serve the tea, prepare, brew, the different methods for brewing tea, because there are many different types of brews based on the type of tea that it is. And right up down to dealing with different restaurants as far as doing some menu pairings as well. So it's quite similar to wine. It's based on region, geography, the cultivars, the terroir, and you just continue to learn more all the time. But I did do a certificate program course through George Brown College.
So Lynda, you're known for your unique blends of teas. So what do you do? What's the process you go through to decide what teas you're going to blend and how are you going to do it?
I guess initially I just tried to find, researched and tasted many different types of tea that were just traditional types of tea, from the white, green, oolong, black, pu'er, mates, rooibos, and then the herbals. And once I had those, I would experiment with different types of herbs. We call them the elixirs of our tea collection, which we've taken a tea base and have added different types of flavors, from chamomiles to lavenders to chais and spices. And it was basically thinking of it as along the lines of a recipe. And I always love to cook. I have a big family and we have many different events with people coming over. So to experiment with a new recipe was always an exciting thing. So you think of it that way. You take that tea and you blend some flavor, and it's trial and error, to be honest. You're tasting everything on its own and then complementing it with a different type of blend.
So at some point you decided that you were going to become an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
And that you wanted to build this online business where people can buy teas and all the accessories that go along with tea. What sparked that idea?
I think my past experience, I have about 25 years of corporate real estate experience. So I was traveling quite a bit across the country in Canada and saw a lot of different restaurants to retail shops, and wasn't really interested in opening up stores of my own, but wanted to create a brand and an expertise in this business through an online service, but working with other people, co-branding,
Right.
coming into other organizations and finding out, how we can bring tea into that environment and share the experience, because it's fun. And I'm obviously passionate about it, and I love the product. I just think you can take it to so many different levels, and building these partnerships and co-branding with different companies creates an opportunity for me to be more social as far as dealing with those type of people, as opposed to, because I kind of left the business world for a little bit, but getting back into the business and just creating those partnerships and collaborating with people. My daughter's best comment was to me that she says, "Mommy, you have no competition," or if you're your true authentic self, you have no competition. And it really resonated with me, because I was so passionate about tea. I just wanted to experience it with whomever I could.
So was there ever a time when you were so challenged you thought, I don't know that I can do this, people aren't believing in me, or
That's a good question. I mean, we all have trying days, but I'm doing this because I want to do this, and I love it. I truly love tea and trying different things and experimenting with it. Deadlines are always tough, but I think working and finding the right partnerships with people just makes it all worthwhile, and I'm okay with it.
So what's been the sort of the greatest challenge in this business for you?
Finding the time to travel to all these amazing places. We continue to do so. I have a couple other amazing trips planned. So it's just, coordinating all that and getting to them and meeting the right people. But, you really need to get out there and meet new groups and just continue to foster those relationships and build those partnerships. So I don't find it a chore. It's my lifestyle, and it is my life, and it's a big part of it, from my personal life to my family life, and now my business life. So it's just part of my whole lifestyle.
Yeah, something that's also interesting about you is you cook with tea.
Yes, well,
and in so many different ways. You have amazing recipes.
Well, I've tried to be creative with that. I guess along with the travels. Tried to experiment and explore new opportunities. And that meant not just a cup of tea. What else can you do with this tea? And I started experimenting with recipes. On our blog, we have our www.teALCHEMY.ca is our website. And we have some followers. We have all of our tea-inspired recipes that are on there. We have tea cocktails. And it was experimenting with other different ways that you could incorporate tea into your life. And that was from steeping a pot of berry blast and using that steeped fruity tea as to poach or to boil your oatmeal in to give it a different flavor. So every time I found a really good recipe that I liked, I tried to figure out what was the best tea that could be incorporated into that recipe. If it was a beet cherry rose cake or scones. Then I soon discovered powders, which is matcha powder, and some people are aware of what matcha powder is, but it's the actual tea leaves itself, so it's condensed down into a powder, and it was originated in Japan. And the good thing about it is that you're getting 80% more of the health property benefits in the matcha powder, which is the green tea, and then you actually ingest that. And the process in the ceremony is taking the matcha powder, whisking it up in water, and they either drink it just straight, or you can add it to milks for lattes, or you can cook scones, bake cookies with it. But also discovered that they actually have rooibos powder as well. Just the process alone was taking the tea product and then incorporating that into a recipe, if it was a baked good. The next level, we kind of started experimenting with some syrups. So we have a line of tea syrups that we sell on our website as well as the powders. And the other one was a tea rub. So we've taken a black tea and incorporated many different types of spices and herbs in it that were quite flavorful. And the good thing about cooking with tea is we cook it on actually salmon, beef, chicken, pork,
Who would ever
ribs.
thought?
Who would ever think
geez,
that? And you're
really?
actually putting those herbs and tea right on the meat. And when it's cooking, it really permeates right through the meat.
Now, the other part of your business is creating co-branding.
Yes.
With other companies. I mean, how does that work?
Well, there's a lot of people that want to be in the tea business, but that's not their primary part of the primary business. So they'll come to us and they'll suggest they would like to have their own co-branded type of blend. So we come up with something that's in the category that they're looking for. We do some tastings. We try the different flavors. If there are any particular herbs or flavors that you want to complement with it, and we can come up with a type of their own name. And so we have all of the labeling and the packaging and the tea, and we create this different name for it, and we can co-brand it with them. They have their name on it. They take the ownership to it, and it's considered, I guess you could say, a store within a store. So we'll provide that product to that customer, blended by the alchemist.
And you are the alchemist. Now, why do you call yourself a tea alchemist?
I guess I always wanted to be. I kind of developed the more I found out about tea and learned about tea that I wanted to blend. I thought that was just a really interesting thing to do because you could be very creative, and the alchemists believed that it was the elixirs to life, and it's healthy, and the experimentation on the blending and with the tea and the history of it just kind of came out one day. Someone said, "How about a teALCHEMY?" And I just love the name, and it sort of stuck. when you experience tea, you want to take it all in, meaning you look at the terroir, you look at the color, that'll tell you how strong the brew may be. And even by the color, you may be able to distinguish the type of tea that it is. So you're taking in all those senses when you're experiencing that cup of tea. The scent that you get on the nose, on the tongue when you taste it. Is there an astringent flavor? Is it sweet? And experience everything that you can from seeing, touching, smelling. And we encourage people to look at the loose leaf tea before it's been brewed, see what it looks like. Look at like at a 2 Dove Silver Needle is a white tea, and you'll see little hairs on it that come onto the leaf. It's considered the champagne of teas. To an oolong that's rolled into a ball, and as it's tightened and rolled into the ball, it releases enzymes that gives it a different type of flavor profile than the oolong. So the whole process of looking and experiencing those would all be part of it.
And I know you're being involved in the community is something that's very important to you as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime people call us, would you like to come and be a part of a community event? We just did a fashion show this weekend at Off the Cuffs, had a fashion show at Young and Eglinton, and just being part of the community, giving out tasting samples. People actually get to experience it because we don't have a store. You know, people can't necessarily come to the store to taste and try things, so we go out to that community. If it's an event of a celebration Saturday at a school or a fashion show or a kids picnic, we'll blend or suggest a certain type of tea, provide different types of samples to get people tasting and experiencing the whole alchemist of the tea.
So where can people buy your tea?
www.teALCHEMY.ca. We're based in Toronto. We ship across Canada. And we have over 50 different loose leaf teas online. We have many different wares, brewing vessels, pots, even to the commercial side of the business. We have brewing vessels for restaurants that may want to keep and carry some of our teas as well in their shops. We sell retail small portions to bigger restaurant gram bags, and it's all directly online.
Now, Lynda, it's my Good to Know Minute, and I know you've got a great success tip.
Never give up. Never, ever, ever, ever give up. If you follow your dream and you're passionate about it, it truly would pay off, I believe. Just don't give up. Keep on going at it, and believe in yourself, and don't let anybody else bring you down.
Well, thank you, Lynda Budd, for being here today. I have really enjoyed hearing your story, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much for having me.
To find out more about Extraordinary Women TV, my guests, and to view past episodes, visit the website at extraordinarywomentv.com. And to keep the conversation going, join me on Twitter at Shannon_Skinner for an empowering stream of Extraordinary Women TV updates. On Facebook, connect with us at Extraordinary Women TV. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'm Shannon Skinner. See you next time.